Good morning, everyone here and everyone joining us online. Welcome. It's Wednesday, and you may all be feeling the feels. Not that you weren't feeling some feels before, but it's Wednesday, and Wednesday we get kind of some extra feelings. Because we're deep in that SUUSI place, like we've got a bit of our SUUSI groove, but then we're also closer to Saturday. And then also we had our memorial service last night, and we're in our SUUSI place where we're beginning to feel hopefully more cared for and relaxed, but then also that means some of our feelings come up. So I just want to invite everyone to, well, one, take an extra trip to Common Ground. You might need some extra caffeine, but also to be tender with one another. And especially with your SUUSI staff and volunteers, many of whom are juggling many more hats than usual. And they are wearing down. Love on them, love on each other, keep masking and keeping us all safe and here together where we want to be. And remember the SUUSI hotline that is right here on your name tag for any issues that you're having, answering questions, but also that's how you can also connect to pastoral care. And there are many ministers around, who are ready. Just make sure they're ones that, have asked to be that person. So go through the hotline so that you can connect with someone. If you were not able to be present at last night's memorial service, we did a ritual where we wrote on fabric, and we do have more of that fabric and markers up here. So at the end of the service, if you want to write a grief on one triangle and a gratitude on the other and tie them together and put them in the bucket, they will be added to a ritual to more of our service that's happening later in this week. Finally, please put your phones in worship mode. That's a very important mode so that we can fully be present here together. And this morning, I am more than grateful to welcome very familiar faces, Christine and Aiden of Friction Farm, who we are lucky to count among our now longtime SUUSI friends.
Good morning. Thank you so much for waking up and being here. We're just going to begin by getting us a little bit centered with a very brief musical meditation. Feel free to sing or not, to hum or not. I am because you are.
When you know peace. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Elizabeth Shell. Yes, our own Elizabeth Shell. We light our UU chalice fire this morning, a reminder of the divine spark in each of us. We are grateful for this time together and for the opportunity to lean in to challenging truths that enable us to deepen our gratitude further and grow as a covenanted community committed to radical love and justice for all. Please keep an open mind. Please recognize that hearts exist in many different kinds. We are all the same. We know love and hate. We have the power to choose which side to take. Try seeing other sides. Try walking in the shoes of those who struggle to feel pride. We are all the same. We know love and hate. We have the power to choose which side to take. Love in spite of fear. Love until the lines that come between us disappear. We are all the same. We know love and hate. We have the power to choose which side to take. Please try. Love. Please try 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 love.
Relay handoff. Gratitude. What a perfect theme. Because we are immeasurably grateful to be back here, back together in this place. And really grateful for the work and the trust that it took to make this happen. A couple of years ago, as the world was just beginning to fall apart, a group of friends decided to share gratitude with each other daily. And at that really difficult time, it seemed like a good idea to remind ourselves and each other how much we had to be grateful for. And many of these friends continue this practice and continue to share their thanks for some really fundamental things. Often they cite their health, their family, friends, perhaps gratitude that they have a roof over their heads and food on their table. And there's such good science that supports a daily practice of gratitude, that it increases your happiness, improves your quality of sleep, even lowers your blood pressure. So yeah, let's get some of that. Measurable results. Be grateful. I love this group of friends, but honestly, some days their gratitude seems so small. They're grateful for coffee. I mean, aren't we all? But is that the best we could do? They're grateful for a sunset, and yes, that's a beautiful thing, and we should appreciate that. And I know the small things are very much a part of the practice of gratitude, to remember a small light at the end of a dark day. But rather than just reaching for some of those obvious things, couldn't we sometimes dig a little deeper? Isn't that also part of the point, especially when our days are not so dark? Brené Brown has said that what separates privilege from entitlement is gratitude. And I think that gratitude is much deeper than simple appreciation. The opening meditation that we did, I am because you are, it's from the African Ubuntu principle, which I think is not unlike our 7th principle. So let's, this morning, dig just a little deeper into how our gratitude intersects and interconnects. In my small group, health is always on somebody's list. So much of our overall life satisfaction can depend on even the slightest improvement in our health. Absolutely appreciate your health. And then what? In part, being grateful for our health might be grateful for a job, even if we don't like that job, because it provides us with access to health care. But dig a little deeper, and you might be grateful that your parents were able to feed you as a child, and so you didn't develop any lifelong conditions. Keep digging, and you might find gratitude for your parents, who they were, what they looked like, where they lived, that allowed them to pass on the ability to keep taking care of the next generation. Keep digging. If you look like me, you grew up in a place where the air was probably a lot cleaner than the neighborhoods where our black and brown friends lived. Be grateful for your health. Many of us are also grateful for family. The people who love you even on the days when they don't really like you. The continuity and the connection of that love. Be grateful, and then what? Dig deeper. And perhaps you'll see that your family was not torn apart when one parent had to leave to find work. I was never sent away for safety. Were you? Generations of my family weren't intentionally separated to stop the spread of language, culture, and history that binds us together. Be grateful for family. We, Aiden and I, are very grateful to have, even in these awkward times, a roof over our heads and food on our table. But let's be honest, the roof covers delightful air-conditioned space. And the food in my belly is more than just sustenance. It's usually delicious and comforting. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel guilty about that. I'm grateful for every bit of comfort and excess that I have, and I'm grateful for any that you have, because I love you and I want you to be happy. Be grateful for what you have, and then what? When I dig a little deeper, I see that part of my success is built on a foundation of my education. And I'm thankful that I grew up in a household where the luxury of an education was my reality. My dad, not only did he not finish high school, he didn't even start it, he had to go right to work. And eventually he joined the Army, and that gave him the opportunity to get an education. He got a decent job, went to college, and so I could grow up comfortably. I'm grateful for my parents, but if I dig a little deeper, I know that that GI Bill that helped my dad go to college, it wasn't given out fairly. And he got a boost, and so I got a boost that men of color and their families did not. And the roof over my head and the food in my pantry is a direct result of that, and I am grateful. So when it comes down to it, some of my friends and I, and maybe some of you, we're grateful for generations and generations of advantages. We are who we are. We have what we have, so please be grateful. And then what? Be happy because it's a benefit of your gratitude. Get a better night's sleep courtesy of your gratitude, maybe not at SUUSI, but next week. Enjoy the fact that your blood pressure may be lower because of your gratitude. And then what? So I find it interesting that there are two men with very ideological opposites who came up with very similar sentences. Leo Tolstoy wrote this: "I sit on a man's back, choking him, making him carry me, and yet assuring myself and others that I am sorry for him and wish to lighten his load by any means possible, except by getting off his back." A couple decades later, in his very brief military style, Dwight Eisenhower said, "A people that values its privileges above its principles soon loses both."
Two homes for every right where you've got to love the odds. To put your money on a man who says his faith will not rule, but still puts his trust in God. I still believe someday reconcile. I still believe every once in a while. Out in the heartland starts to rain, a chain reaction across the floodplain, bury the truth of how the West was won by men in uniform and men in chains. I still believe we will go on for miles and miles. raise your voices in the street, send a message to your king. Here is blood and sweat, give your hearts and minds all the right to speak and sing. I still believe the truth will come back in style. I still believe every once in a while. I still believe we will look back on this and smile. I still believe every once in a while.
Please know that guilt has no place in gratitude, and I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. You have what you have. Be grateful. And we shouldn't have less, should you? I don't know. There are a few areas where I can tell you I should have less, but that's just me personally. And we should all embrace what we need to feel fulfilled, safe, happy, secure, and valued. It isn't one size fits all. But too often, in the way that our world is organized, that fulfillment comes at the expense of others. But does it have to be that way? As a SUUSI community, I hope that we are actively looking for the line between gratitude and greed, need and want, us and them. Too often we are led to believe that we need to be on top, better than. And here's where I think real gratitude pays off. Because material gain, it gets you some happiness and some well-being to a point. But we get used to things being rewarding and pleasurable. And we start to take the good for granted. And it takes more and more to get us there. And conscious gratitude really helps with that. True gratitude, I think, is rooted in humility. In a survey of Olympic medalists, bronze medalists were happier than silver medalists. What? The bronze medalists were grateful because they almost didn't get a medal at all. And the silver medalists, they had a measure of disappointment for not getting gold. So standing at that cusp of the haves and the have-nots, the bronze medalist is more aware of all of the athletes in their interconnected web, and they really see how lucky they are. Luck, privilege, the mystery of the universe. We didn't earn everything that we have. And our gratitude should acknowledge that. When we combine our gratitude with our humility, we find that our health is a little dependent on our behavior and a lot on the luck of our stars. Because doesn't every kid deserve nutritious food? Doesn't every kid deserve lead-free water? Doesn't every kid deserve to breathe clean air? And yet we know poor kids live in food deserts. We know that lead pipes don't get replaced in all of the neighborhoods. And we know statistically Some people are more likely to live near polluting industries than others. And those problems are so big and so complex. But we can at least dig into the knowledge that the inequity of the system that gives some of us so much to be grateful for. If we dive into the deep end of our gratitude for family, we see that we were allowed to maintain the connections through generations. No one erased our heritage. And these issues run so deep, but we can acknowledge their continuing effects. And we can do that while being grateful. When we take a harder look at our gratitude for a home, we might see that it's easier for some of us to get a mortgage because we look like our bankers. And institutional change is going to be a long road. But we can recognize that the overarching economy is built on a foundation of inequity. We can do that while being grateful. In fact, we can do it more clearly when we're grateful. When we see those places where our privilege actively bumps up against someone else's oppression, we can see an opportunity for change. But I think we have to look. John F. Kennedy said that as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. How do we do that? I can't answer that for you. I'm not even sure I'm fully ready to answer it for myself, but I do know that there is no shortage of health, of food, of shelter, or education, or of happiness. There is enough. We don't need to hoard those things, but we also don't need to sacrifice the things that truly make us feel safe and happy. Someday soon, I want us to be grateful that we helped the next generation, all of the next generation, feel gratitude for their health, their family, a roof over their head, and food on their table. I want us to be grateful that we helped the next generation, all of the next generation, have the luxury of being grateful for coffee and a sunset. Can we get there? Yes. Emphatically, unquestioningly, yes. Do I know how? No. But I'm absolutely certain that it starts with being humbly grateful and digging a little deeper. The song is called We Can. The chorus is We Can. If you'd like to join in, please do.
Difference if we try.
We can,
We can,
we can,
we can change the world, you and I.
There's a teacher at my daughter's school. Somehow she makes it seem cool to like complex calculations and poetry. It's a shame how little she gets paid, but I let her know she makes the grade when I vote to increase her salary.
It's not much,
And it's something I can do.
just a little thing, but if you do it
sometimes they look and act a little differently. Might not change how people think, but sharing dinner and a drink shows different is alright by me. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but if you do it too, we can make a difference if we try. We can change the world, you and I. We blame corporations and the government for how money is made and money is spent. Well, the truth is, both of them are us. So I will act the way I think, help people swim instead of sink, share the joy of being generous. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but if you do it too, we can make a difference if we try. We can change the world, you and I. We will change the world, you and I.
So our closing words come from an unlikely source. Glenn Fox, who is a neurological researcher at the University of Southern California. He says, "Thank you doesn't just bring light to people's faces. It also lights up different parts of the brain. And the pattern of brain activity we see shows us that gratitude is a complex social emotion that is really built around how others seek to benefit us." We extinguish this chalice, but let the light travel within us to light up people's faces and their brains. Amen. Thank you.